Hey Randy, so I watched Solo. I guess you didn't though, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. Instead, I'm going to talk about another outlaw, one from our own galaxy. I mentioned in a previous video that I really liked the Wild West theme as a kid, and the outlaw boss was a minifigure known as Black Bart. But before I get into that, here's today's photo caption contest. Subscribe and comment your caption to enter, and you could win Birthday Party Boy. More information in the description. Now back to Black Bart. You know, I think Lego had quite the backstory for these fellas. I don't really know what it is, but they went so far as to name them Black Bart, Flatfoot Thompson, Dewey Cheatham. I think what backstory Lego did provide would have been in Lego magazine comics and posters. I didn't follow those stories closely though. One thing I did find was this little note: Black Bart. He'll wear any color as long as it's black. So what's with the brown hat? That's better. Aside from Lego, I also know Black Bart as the bad guy in Ralphie's Christmas Story Outlaw Fantasies, so that got me wondering, who is this Black Bart fella? As it turns out, there was a real-life Black Bart. He was born Charles Bowles, and Wikipedia refers to him as a gentleman bandit. He made a name for himself robbing Wells Fargo stagecoaches, and he'd sometimes leave behind a poem, earning him the nickname Black Bart the Poet, presumably so he wouldn't be confused with Black Bart the Pirate. Here's one of his poems. I've labored long and hard for bread, for honor, and for riches, but on my corns too long you've tread, you fine-haired sons of... You get the idea. Black Bart robbed at least 28 stagecoaches in his career as a bandit, but get this, he was afraid of horses. It's also believed he never fired his weapon during a robbery. In the end, it's a bit of a Robin Hood type story with a guy who seemed intent on stealing from Wells Fargo, possibly because Wells Fargo used some underhanded tactics to force him out of a mining claim. He vowed revenge against Wells Fargo in a letter to his wife. Black Bart was eventually caught and convicted. Since Wells Fargo only pressed charges on one robbery, his final one, he only received a sentence of 6 years in San Quentin. He got out in 4 for good behavior. However, prison had taken its toll, and Black Bart had aged, gone deaf in one ear, and had failing eyesight. Reporters gathered on his release, wondering if he'd rob again. He replied, "No, gentlemen, I'm through with crime." He didn't return to his wife, but did write her letters saying he was demoralized and tired of being shadowed by Wells Fargo, that he wanted to get away from everybody. Then one day he did just that. Black Bart disappeared. Some people suspect Wells Fargo paid him off to go away and not rob them anymore. Others think maybe he moved to New York City, while a Wells Fargo detective believed he had left to Japan. Personally, as a Wells Fargo customer myself, my guess is that they had him murdered and disposed of. Whatever happened, his legend lives on as the quintessential Wild West bandit moniker Black Bart, available in Lego. And of course, his poems. Here I lay me down to sleep, to wait the coming morrow, perhaps success, perhaps defeat, and everlasting sorrow. Let come what will, I'll try it on, my condition can't be worse, and if there's money in that box, 'tis money in my purse. See you soon.